was the backdrop to the start of the Toyota Dealer Cape Rally, there was a relaxed atmosphere in the pre-start holding area. 59 cars had entered round 2 of the Sasol South African Rally Championship, an event that was expected to produce extremely fast-paced action over the close on 200 kilometers of special stages. Having had a poor start to the season, the BP Volkswagen team was under pressure to perform.
Andre, you got a bit of a clobbering in Natal, but I take it you've done some work in the meantime.
Well, you know, second place, I wouldn't agree with you, Steve, that's a clobbering. But I think the shock absorber dilemma that we had has gone away. In the last 2 days, we had the opportunity to subsequently test and to try and find a solution. The shocks are completely new, so, you know, you have to drive it out, and of course 2 days is maybe not enough time. Obviously, we'd like to have had more time. So after this event, we have the whole of April, I would imagine, to be able to test the range of springs that we've got and the shock absorber settings.
So to some extent this event will be part of your test session, really?
I think so. I think, you know, it's dangerous always to use the rallies as test sessions, but unfortunately the time between the last rally and this rally was ridiculously tight, 3 weeks, and then to design and manufacture in Europe and get them here in time, that was a bit tight. I think 6 weeks between events would suit us better, and in fact suit everybody better.
Richard Bem and Grant Sinclair in the Powerman Mitsubishi Lancer. Bem and Sinclair had previously competed nationally with a good turn of speed in a Class N2 Toyota Corolla.
Richard, it's nice to see you in a competitive car, but it's quite a big step up from where you were.
Yeah, so quite a big jump, almost twice the amount of power now, four-wheel drive. So we're going to take it as it comes. We're not going to try and go too quickly, too fast. We're going to learn the ropes and see what happens.
Guy Hodgson were first on the road in their Class A8 BP Volkswagen Golf. The rally offered crews less than 43 kilometers of special stage driving on day 1, with the opening stage just 0.99 of a kilometer run in the car park of the Northlink College. With Keane being a local Cape Townian and a competitor in regional events, he started the event as one of the favorites thanks to his local knowledge. Having retired from the first event of the season, he would need a good result in this one to mark himself as a serious championship contender. A solid start just 3 seconds off the stage winner's time kept him happy. Starting the event as the clear favourites for victory were Serge Damso and Robert Paisley in the Class A8 Castrol Toyota Run X. Somerset West-based Damso is virtually unbeatable in Cape events as he knows the road conditions so well, while the new Run X showed itself to be the class of the field in the opening round of the championship in KwaZulu-Natal. Damso is chasing his 10th national championship title this season as he closes in on Cyril van der Merwe's all-time record of 11 titles. He's also narrowing the gap in rally wins with 63 to his name, just 3 behind Supervan's record of 66. Quickest time on this stage was a perfect start to the event for the Toyota crew. Jannie Habich was receiving final instructions from navigator Douglas Judd before the start. The BP Volkswagen crew also experienced a tough opening event in Natal, but managed to salvage a hard-earned second place. Italian Habich won the opening event last year, but the Golf was outclassed by the Toyota earlier this month. The Volkswagen crew had worked long hours to improve the situation between events, and Habich and Judd were hopeful of being able to take the fight to Damso and his crew. They finished the stage just 2 seconds down on Damso. Johnny Gemmell and Greg Godridge were the unluckiest pair in rallying last year, failing to score a point all season in their Class N4 L&J plant hire Subaru Impreza. They led every event they contested, but mechanical maladies scuppered their chances in almost every rally. When they did eventually manage to finish the final event of the year, they were excluded for a minor technical infringement. Their season started on a more positive note, with the crew finishing third in the opening rally. They were in contention for a second-place finish until near the end when they hit a tree, severely damaging the car. With just 3 weeks between events, they were forced to pull out Gemmell's old Subaru for this event, as the damaged one could not be repaired in time. problematic start to the season in KwaZulu-Natal, Etienne Lawrence and Andre Vermeulen were hoping for an easier run in their ex-Damso Class A8 Team Total Toyota Run X. The Natal event proved to be a character-building exercise for the crew, as all manner of problems struck the Run X, leaving it languishing down in 10th place at the overnight halt. However, a strong fight back on day 2 saw the Team Total pair take 5th overall. Having moved up from Class A7 to A8 this season, Lawrence's performances are being closely watched by observers. He had made some significant changes to the car since the last event, but still felt that there was more to come from the Run X. A really good start saw him just a second slower than Damso on this opening test. Schalk Burger and Vito Bonafide went into the event confident of a good result in their Class N4 Bridgestone Subaru SA Impreza. The pair had managed a 4th overall and 2nd in class in the Natal Rally, despite the car only being put together on the day before the event. Burger imported the Impreza N9 from the UK, but a delay in the shipping saw it offloaded at the docks in the early hours of the Thursday morning before the event. The team pulled out all the stops to assemble it in time for scrutineering, which they managed to do, but Burger was not able to drive the car prior to the event. Now, with only one rally under his belt in the new car, Burger was bullish of going after not only a class win, but also the overall win. The ProDrive built car offers a huge leap in performance over Burger's previous Impreza, an advantage that he was confident of utilizing to its full effect. The big heavy four-wheel drive cars don't usually take to these tight and twisty stages, but Burger was quick off the mark, setting an equal time to Lawrence, just 1 second off the winner's time. Kali van der Merwe and Gideon Trollope put in some strong performances in their Class N4 mobile Subaru Impreza over the past year, and were expected to run comfortably in the top 10 throughout the rally. Unfortunately, the Subaru did not take to this twisty stage very well, and broke a differential near the finish, bringing their event to a premature end. The wheat fields near Wellington were dry and dusty, making the dust a potential problem for competitors. Being first on the road was considered a disadvantage, as the first few cars would sweep the loose surface away for the following cars. There was not much Keenan Hutchin could do about the conditions though, and just had to drive as fast as possible on the 22-kilometer first gravel stage. Equal second fastest was a good effort under the circumstances. A comprehensive test session before the start of the season had put Damso and Paisley in the pound seats to retain their title. The Toyota team had completed over 200 kilometers of testing with a newly built Run X, allowing them to iron out all the bugs that normally affect newly built cars. With the Run X so well sorted, Damso could simply concentrate on driving fast, a task he finds rather easy to do. There has been a lot of talk about when he might call it quits after a long and distinguished career, but while he's still winning rallies and is so close to breaking the all-time win records, he has no inclination to give it up at all. All of Damso's successes has come behind the wheel of a Toyota, for whom he's driven since 1986, and the marque also wants to add to its 12 manufacturers' titles. It dominated in 2003, scoring almost double the points of its closest rival, as it swept the board with no less than 15 titles. Damso added another stage win by 1 second to make it a perfect start to the event. Habib and Judd have 13 seasons of competition as teammates behind them, making them one of the longest pairings in rally history. They're also one of the most successful pairings with 9 national and numerous class and regional titles behind them. Equal second fastest on this stage left them well positioned, just 3 seconds adrift of leader Damso. Gemmell entered the event hoping for a repeat of his 2001 Cape Rally win, but it was not to be. His misfortune had struck again, and he was cruising through the stage with a failing engine. It would expire before the completion of the stage, bringing up yet another retirement. In almost every event last year, Lawrence and Vermeulen were close, if not on the pace of the leaders. Their performances had everyone talking, and even led to the Class A7 cars being detuned for this season, as they were considered too much of a threat to the Class A8 entries. They were in contention for the overall title for most of the season, only losing out in the last event of the year. It led to Team Total deciding to back them in the Class A8 Run X for this year. The ex-Damso Runix was Toyota Motorsport's guinea pig development car last year, as they learned valuable lessons to incorporate into this year's entry. As such, Lawrence, who prepares his own car, has made significant changes to the car since he took delivery. He hopes to make a few more before the next event too, in an effort to make it even more competitive and to get it right to his liking. Here, enjoy him at work in the cockpit and watch for the scantry guard for the marker arrow. It's almost like being there. Despite not being totally comfortable with the car, he was 5th fastest on this stage. Burger was also quickly into the groove with his Impreza and would set equal second fastest stage time, matching Keen and Habeck's times. It moved him into 2nd overall, just 2 seconds behind Damso. Fernando Rueda and Pierre Aries also came away from the opening round with 0 points after their Class N4 Motion Motorsport Mitsubishi Lancer ingested water early in the event and would go no further. Upon inspection back at the workshop, it was discovered that the engine had suffered internal damage and it had to be rebuilt. Having nearly won this event a few years back and with a fresh motor, they were confident of taking the fight to Gemmel and Burger. The Mitsubishi Evo 7 is an impressive car and was arguably the best car in the field last year. But with the arrival of Burger's new car, that mantle has arguably passed to the Subaru. The Spaniard battled on the stage and was 10 seconds off the Subaru's pace. He was only 7th fastest through the stage. JP Damso and Cobus Frey were also expected to do well in their Class A7 Team Total Toyota Corolla, as Damso Jr. also knows the local road conditions very well. A quick time put him at the head of the class and just 1 second behind Rueda. After a torrid 2003, Hergen Fecken and Dave Lufkovic and the Class A7 BP Volkswagen Playa had made a solid start to the season in Natal and were hoping to build on that in the Cape. A misfire hampered their effort in this stage, but it was quickly cured at the next service. The Class A8 Bosch Top Car BMW of Cliff Blackman and Johan Klaassen suffered a severe misfire in the opening event. It was thought that the problem had been traced to a faulty engine management system control unit, but although a new unit improved the problem, the misfire was still in evidence. More searching would have to be done to find the fault, but nevertheless Blackman was still putting in good times and running in the top 10. Ex-regional rallyist Stefan van Dijk and Mark Pym were contesting their second event in the Revolution Technology House of Subaru Impreza. A good start saw them pip Rueda to 6th fastest stage time. Bem and Sinclair were familiarizing themselves with their new mount and driving sensibly by not trying to be too fast. The Mitsubishi has good pedigree, being the car that Rueda used to win the African Rally Championship last season. Andy Haig-Smith, though, was out after just 1 stage.
What's the problem? Gearbox. Gone. Yes. On the corner.
The gearbox had destroyed itself in the Corolla, but Gugu Zulu and Mike Burrows were still going strongly in the Class A5 Sassel Volkswagen City Golf. Keen